Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Ken and Ken take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars and the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Aggression in their voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Ken and Ken in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. Live and loud, that break in the mind. Ken and the bold. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploded like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, their foes can't fight. From sports to politics,
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of Ken and Ken in the morning. Oh look, there is a Ken this morning.
Yeah, my internet's all wonky today.
And of course, we got a Joe. Good morning, Joe.
Ken was busy half guard smashing. Smashing from the half guard.
Hey, sometimes you need a good ground and pound.
Yeah, especially in the morning. I feel you, buddy. Right before you go to work.
Wait. You mentioned something that I'm not used to. What's this thing you called work, was it?
Well, the rest of us peasants, Ken, we have to go to work.
Oh, that must suck, Joe.
Yeah, I know. All right, so hey, real quick, because there's so much exciting stuff to talk about in roster moves. Only one roster move. Well, two things actually. Obviously, the Raiders' move of wide receiver Kawan Baker being claimed off waivers from the Raiders for the Packers happened officially, and Major Burns, who we reported yesterday, the Bears had waived. They reverted him to the IR. That's significant because a lot of Bears fans were hoping this kid would make the roster as an undrafted free agent rookie, especially given our lack of safeties on the roster for next year. Otherwise, yeah, just a bunch of other stuff. So instead of talking about, hey, here's this eighth string guy you never heard of that got waived, let's talk about the shot heard around the internet yesterday with over 8 million views at the time I viewed it. Yes, we're talking Tay-Tay. Yes, she was on the Heights last night with the Kelseys. Yes, there was a bombshell or two or three or a dozen, but Tay knows ball, gentlemen.
Man, don't fangirl too hard.
She was talking. Look, I watched some of that out of curiosity, right? And I didn't have anything else on the Plex to watch last night. SNW hadn't posted yet. It was interesting. They did talk some ball, and it was funny how she was like, she. The one story I thought was funny is she said when her and Trav had first started dating, she asked what it was like to play to be lined up against his brother in the Super Bowl. And of course he said, well, I'm on the offense and he's on the offense and I only see the defense on the field. And she went through the story how she thought that it was like Joe Burrow was on one side and on the other side was the other quarterback and they'd go at it like gladiators or something. And so that was funny. She had zero understanding of football. Her dad is a huge Eagles fan, so she knew of football, didn't know anything about football.
I was going to say her father apparently didn't teach her shit then.
One of her dad's best friends is Andy Reid. Right? So
how the fuck is one of your father's best friends Andy fucking Reid? And you don't know that quarterbacks don't sit there and wave penises at each other.
Well, here's where it gets even better. So they did confirm that Andy Reid had a hand in matchmaking with the two of them and getting them together. That Andy Reid had actually reached out to her father to vouch for Travis and say, look, Travis is a good dude. They should link up. So that was one of the bombshells that was confirmed yesterday that people have been talking about Andy Reid. But yeah, she knew nothing of football. Now she's like, she also started like going through coverages, and Travis like, and his brother's like, what? I mean, she's like, give me 16 months and I'll be able to commentate on games. But you know what, though? In listening to this podcast last night, I don't doubt it.
And I don't think you're way off, Ken. I think that's the NFL's plan. I think this whole Kelsey podcast thing where they introduce Taylor Swift, the football fan, to the world is not an unscripted thing. I think it's something that is in the pipeline. It's in the works, and I think by next Christmas she'll be sideline reporter Taylor Swift.
I mean, the biggest bombshell of the night had nothing to do with football. It was literally the release of her new album. The first time she had just gotten the new album cover, the actual physical album, day of filming, and so she had this nice little Taylor Swift briefcase, brought it out, and they debuted the name of her album, the name of all 12 tracks of it. They actually started the pre-order, announced the pre-order was live, did all that on their show. So that was the big bombshell, was the album release news, which was towards the end of the show. But just listening to her talk, though, like look at Ken's face right now. He's just like jaw is on the ground. But I don't disagree with you, Joe, because like one thing they did talk about was the effect that their relationship has had within the NFL, and how she didn't really know anything about football, and now, of course, because of a relationship with Travis, is learning a truckload about football, that fans who initially came maybe to just, catch a glimpse of her have stuck around for football because they're realizing, like she did, what a great sport football is. So from that aspect, Joe, 100% agree with what you said. And the NFL would be stupid not to take hold of what is the marketing machine that is Taylor Swift and put that to use in a way that's beneficial for everyone.
Just when I thought I couldn't like a commentator less than Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.
You know what, though? I mean, like, listening to her speak yesterday, honestly, I think she'd be better than Troy Aikman. She's not nasal. She's not.
That's not a high bar.
She's not drony. She's actually human. She is quirky. I mean, she's definitely quirky, as are the Kelsey. So she fits right in with them perfectly. You could tell just in their conversation that she fits in with all. I mean, she fits in with the Kelseys like butter on bread. I mean, yeah, she would work. I mean, she's not robotic. She's definitely very human in the way she does things. Not that I would say she was alien or anything, but you know what I mean? Like, and when she was mentioning certain things, it's like, whoa. I'm like, okay, and and Travis like, see, she knows ball. I mean, and her story for the NFL and her transformation into a fan, oh yeah, big time money for them. And it was funny though, because like and there was another take that was really, I don't want to say a bombshell, but an interesting take to hear. Travis, hey, good morning, Yinzer. So we're all tired of the Tay cam at Chiefs games, right? Like we're like, dude, we really have to see Taylor Swift again in the suite. Travis like, dude, this is the best thing ever. He's like, and it was weird, and the reason why I think is what will catch you. He's like, because she is in the booth and they pay her so much attention when she's at the games, he actually gets to see the reaction of his family and friends when they do something now like he never did before. Like in the past, where your booth is, but they couldn't see all the melee going on in the booth when he would score a touchdown or something. Now, because they show her on the Jumbotron, he can see the reaction of his family and friends, and that's something he was never able to do before. And he's like, this is really cool. So that's been a positive byproduct for him because of all this undue attention they give her, is now he gets to see his friends and family react when he does things on the field, whereas before he couldn't. I thought that was an interesting take too.
It's to me, it's clearly a marketing campaign, and I agree with you, Ken. I think it's very smart for the NFL. They're trying to draw the Swifties in and make them fans, and there's a lot of Swifties, dude. Whether we agree or not, Ken, Packer fan, like there's a lot of Swifties.
Unfortunately, you're not wrong.
Those Swifties spend their hard-earned dollars on Taylor Swift merchandise, concert tickets, and now NFL merchandise as well.
Yeah. And you know what? Like I've heard Taylor Swift songs on the radio. You know, when I used to
quit lying! You've got every one of her CDs.
No, I have not. I have never purchased a single item in the Taylor Swift library collection or anything. I could have watched the Eras tour for free on Amazon. Didn't even do that. I mean, as an artist, she's definitely influential. There we go. If I can speak this morning, and she has.
My daughters love Taylor Swift.
And she has her place, right? And as a businesswoman, she is smart as hell. The way, the first thing they tackled in the interview was how she got her music catalog back, which you could tell was not just very emotional for her, but for the Kelceys. And when she talked through all that, like, you understand the business side of entertainment a lot better, but she's definitely, she knows she has a plan, man, when it comes to business. And I don't think that her plan when she, there was no plan when she met Travis to do this. This is something that's become a byproduct of, right? Because that's her, look, you could tell those two are, I was thinking like he was going to propose to her and that's why he was having her on. I mean, they've been together for 2 years. I'm surprised they haven't yet. They live together. They you listen to them, the quirkinesses and everything else is authentic. It's there. You can tell. But it's interesting how even tied in she is with what's going on with the Kansas City Chiefs and with football in general, and how camp works and how free when they made the draft pick last year, that wide receiver, she knew before Travis did because she was watching it with all her buddies, and said she was running up and down oh my God, we drafted so and so, and Travis said like, wait, we did what? She's into it, dude. There we go. She's into it. So, that's been with the Bears. It was the same thing last week. It's interesting. It was interesting. It was an interesting hour and 46 minutes to watch yesterday. And there were no commercials by YouTube. Thank you for that, YouTube. That it was commercial free, because that's the most annoying thing with YouTube commercials is you'll be right in the middle of a sentence. Hi. We like to push a drug to you in a commercial right now. When they cut it off mid-word, mid-sentence, none of that. So you're able to watch it yesterday without any of those interruptions. It was an interesting podcast. And like the Kelce Brothers podcasts are always fun anyways, and they're always funny. And this was no different. But I thought it was the whole thing, the tie-ins, the NFL, and yeah, it's interesting. Like even
if you get a chance, the Kelce brothers had Bill Murray on one time.
Oh, I watched it. Oh my God,
dude! There's a story that Bill Murray tells,
about
and I don't want
to. About Michael Jordan?
No. It's about the movie Roadhouse. And,
oh my God,
dude! I was dying.
So
like Bill Murray is quiet. Like everybody knows, Bill Murray is a funny guy, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think people really understand how funny he is, dude. Like, because he told this story with a straight face, and had you believe it. And the Kelceys were dying, dude. They were like,
yeah. And here's the thing: they were all in the same room, which normally doesn't happen, right, for their podcast. So you had both the Kelce brothers and Bill Murray. These two are literally rolling on the floor, uncontrollable, can't stop themselves, and Murray's completely unaffected by all of it, and he continues with the story. And then he has a story about Michael Jordan and when they made Space Jam, which was freaking hilarious too. I mean,
but that Roadhouse story was. So I'm still laughing about it now. Hey, so guys, I highly recommend, if you get a chance, go on YouTube and just search that Bill Murray Roadhouse story on the Kelce podcast. You will laugh your ass off, dude.
If you just search Kelce podcast, the first one that'll come up when you go to their channel is the one from yesterday. and the one that's immediately after that's like a best of thing they did. And that Bill Murray clip that you're talking about is in that best of clip. Oh my God. But yeah, it was interesting. I mean, look at, obviously they set the world on fire. Great marketing for her in a sense to do it on and great for Travis. They did the album release on their show. So that's going to be huge. Like their show wasn't already big enough from football fans and Swifties to begin with. Now it's bringing even more people to their channel. Like I said, over 6 million views at the time I watched it yesterday on YouTube last night late. So I'm sure today it's well over 10, 12 million views. Easily. And the subscribers just kept going up and up and up. So, I mean, but I just thought the insights of her, like, as a football fan, and that she talked about the AFC Championship game in Baltimore because they asked, one of the segments is okay, whatever, Mitch. Whatever. You know what? Go swing it. Go swing it, dude. Go swing it. Have fun with it. What was interesting, like they have a section where they basically ask a question. You can tell them to fuck off if you don't like the question, right? And one of the questions was, "What's your best football moment?" Or was it the football moment where you're like, "Oh my God, this is the NFL"? And she said for her it was the Baltimore AFC Championship game. And after they won the game, she goes, "So your mom goes, come on, we're going to the field." And she's like, "We're what?" "We're going to the field." "Oh, no, I don't know if we can do that. Does he want us down the field? Did he say we could come down on the field? I don't know. I don't know about this going to the field." She goes, No, he wants us on the field. We need to go to the field. "Oh, I don't know." And she was like petrified to go on the field. And then when she got in the field, she was like, all the lights and everything is like, and this is like, look, she's in those stadiums doing concerts to sold out crowds. She was starstruck. You could tell in her reaction about going on the field. It was like, and oh my God, I'm actually on an NFL football field moment. And then she was like, and then the media saw me and they all ran to me. And she was completely freaked out by the whole thing because she, and that was a cool moment too, football wise. I'm telling you, the NFL needs to grab hold of this because it's marketing frigging gold for them. But it's also cool. It's marketing frigging gold, not just because it's Taylor Swift though, because it shows how like someone who really could care less about sports, right, gets introduced to the game and her love affair now with football. As just an individual, never mind she's Taylor Swift, probably one of the biggest artists on the face of the planet. Just that story alone for the NFL is marketing gold. It was, yeah, it was. It was just it was worthwhile watching. Put it that way. And some of the story, the insight. I mean, the fact that we now know Travis Kelce's a baker is Sherry and her obsession of baking sourdough bread right now, notwithstanding. And that she mails sourdough bread to Travis and the team at camp. Yeah, interesting. And it was another thing that was kind of funny though, and it's kind of like
she has the money that they probably get it while it's still warm.
Yeah. Well, and here's another thing that was funny. So the first game she went to when they were dating, how she went to the game? Like you and I do. She went right through the regular ticket stand, like turnstile, right through the front. She goes, I just played the stadium 3 weeks before. She had gone on the party bus with all Travis' family, and they went through the normal gate like everyone else did. She's like, I went through the normal gate. She's like, I think partially, she's like, no one really noticed me because no one really expected it. There were rumors that we were maybe talking to each other. She was with a hat and she had a mask, like a face mask on. But she said she walked right through the gate with everyone else like a normal person. And that was her introduction to the NFL. I mean, that's like, dude, the fact that she just was even willing to go through a normal gate like you or I would, that tells you a lot about the person as well. That she's like, well, what do you mean I don't get star treatment? I mean, that's why she's marketing gold for the NFL, dude. Marketing gold for the NFL.
Dude, have you seen her house?
Yeah, I literally was within a few hundred meters of it on July 4th weekend, her house in Connecticut.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the one in Beverly Hills.
No, I saw her house in Connecticut, and that thing is just, it was funny because that is like, it was a highlight of the tour for some people. I know it's like this lighthouse tour you take by like on a ferry boat. right, on a small boat up there in Connecticut. I can't remember the name of the casino it's all by, but anywho, it's funny because there's that one island where the guy's a sovereign nation, the guy who invented the Segway. I don't know if you guys remember that stuff when George W. Bush was president. That all happened. You'd think that would be the thing. Here's a guy who says he's on a small little tiny island that's barely big enough for a house, and he's his own government and his own nation. No, here's Taylor Swift's like 15th house, right? That was like everyone was like, oh my God, over. But I saw her house in Connecticut because it happened to be part of this tour, and it was like, all right, yeah, nice house. And they've got a house here in Florida. That was another little thing they dropped. They've been in Florida all summer. That's where they were in the off season, is in Florida, because Travis like, yeah, I got my Florida son. They were in Florida all summer, so they're actually in Florida. That's the kind of where they're at. I get it for tax purposes. So they have a house somewhere here in Florida where they reside and live together.
Her house in Beverly Hills is ridiculous, dude. It's on the top. It's on the top. Like when you drive into Beverly Hills, it's like, how it literally is hills, and there's like, there's levels to it, and she's like the evil queen at the top, dude. Like her house is like $30 million, and it's like ridiculous, dude. It's like a castle.
It's funny because her house in Connecticut is like kind of like on a peninsula that shoots out, and is at the highest point. And then there's a hotel actually right next to her house, believe it or not, a historic hotel, or right by her house. But yeah, she's got this massive house. I mean, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. But that's like, everyone's like, oh my God, it's her house, and they're taking pictures. I'm like, yeah, it's a nice looking house, but dude, I mean, I don't think she's out there waving to people on the tour going, hi. It's like, okay, cool. You've seen her house. I mean, it's a building. Yeah. It's
I wasn't starstruck by it. It's just, I was just like, wow, like she's the queen of Beverly Hills, dude.
Oh, like, yeah. I would say, look, when you talk about artists who have pull and influence, she's probably the most influential artist out there right now. Beyonce fans, don't be mad. But when you come down to it, I think if it came down in a fight between Beyonce and Tay wins.
What kind of fight?
I know we're not talking about a physical fight.
No.
Because I take Beyonce every day of the week, and
I'm talking about a fight of influence. I would think
okay.
I was like, the street fight.
That one will give you the argument.
Yeah. No. In the fight of influence, I think Taylor Swift would win that fight hands down. Hands down. Because look at, and you can tell because Beyonce tries to mimic Tay by going through all the different genres. Like now she's in country too, like Taylor Swift is. They were both. Yeah, there's a lot of that. But the NFL it behooves the NFL to grab onto this and run with it. I know some fans will be like, "Oh my God, it's such a sideshow," but honestly, watch New Heights. Watch how she is so a Kelsey. She is so a Kelsey. Oh, they talked about the story in Buffalo where she was at the game with Jason. They were in the booth and he jumped out and she started handing her kids. Oh my God, that was a freaking riot, dude. They're like, Jason's like, yeah. She's like, I don't know. He was like a cricket. Like 1 second he's here and the next second he's 14 feet that way. That's how fast Jason was. And next thing he's picking up people's children and just handling me kids. I'm like, do you know where this child came from, Jason? Whose child is this you're handing me? It was hilarious. I mean, she is so a Kelsey.
The one thing that I'm like kind of worried about now is like, does that mean that Travis is going to stick around a while?
Oh,
because I was thinking this is his last year, and it's like now with the whole Taylor Swift thing, like,
well, you
is
think
Travis going to play 4 more years?
You think there would have been major blowback when he had literally admitted that him being in movies and going to Gallivant, and he didn't focus that much on football last year, and that's why he had a down year. You think there would have been some blowback with that shit. But no, we're going to sit here and guzzle him because he happens to be dating Taylor Swift. And that's okay for you to blow off football for her.
I know, Mitch. That's why I was giving you a little guff with the one comment.
The Travis Kelce glazing is real, dude.
I mean, honestly, I think the NFL would definitely want him to stay in the league an extra 2 or 3 years if at all possible, as long as it's bringing Taylor Swift along for the ride, and as long as he does not become an embarrassment as a player. Yeah, I think the NFL would love that. As long as he's not an embarrassment as a player, and she keeps bringing in revenue, they would say, "Dude, stay to your 80." As long as long as that's the case. So as long as he's not an embarrassment as a player. First off, I think Travis will decide, hey, like his brother, it's time for me to bow out. And his brother was more for physical than I'm not the top of my game anymore. So I think as long as he's healthy and he thinks he's contributing, and if he is actually contributing to the betterment of his team, then yeah, he's going to stay and she's going to be with him. Does this mean Kansas City's ever going to get rid of him? Probably not at this point. They'll always try to re-sign him because as long as he's on that team, the Swifties are there too. Could you imagine? If he went to Miami, all the Swifties would be Dolphins fans all of a sudden. So in terms of business, yeah. I mean,
I was going to say, this sounds like Jerry Jones. I don't care about winning. I just care about marketing.
But think about that, though. In terms of, like, players in their contracts, he has the biggest – like, and Luca's heard me say this, and you guys have heard me say this. If the players are creating revenue, generating revenue, then that makes their value for their contract – the argument they have for their contract value worth it. If I'm generating $1 billion, I should get a piece of that. No one has an argument like Travis Kelce right now in the NFL in terms of his contract for compensation. Because he generates more money probably for the NFL right now than any other player in the NFL because of his relationship.
Yeah.
So when it comes to negotiations, like, look, you can sign me and pay what I want, or I can go to Buffalo and, oh, by the way, my girlfriend obviously is coming with me, and all that revenue that they spend on your merch now goes to Buffalo. I mean, dude, if you want all players who could basically get whatever they want in the NFL right now because of business, got to respect that, man. Respect some game there. But no, it was an interesting podcast yesterday. Definitely a lot more interesting than minor roster moves and injuries for guys that were never going to make the roster to begin with. It's worth the watch. But yes, she is so a Kelce.
It would be better if, like, all of a sudden, secretly, she starts dating, like, Ashton Genty, and all of a sudden she comes out in a Raider jersey. And it's like it was this cruel psychological ploy the whole time to destroy the Chiefs.
Speaking of your Raiders, also watch the thing they did with Ben Affleck. Where Ben Affleck
that would make some good television, dude. That would make some great television.
They have a great clip with Ben Affleck, too, do the Kelces, where he talks about playing catch with Tom Brady. And it was, you want to see someone fanboy out like no one ever before? Watch this clip with Ben Affleck. And they happen to be on vacation, and, And Tom Brady reaches out to Ben and say, hey, meet me down here. I need someone to throw to coming into the season. And the story Ben Affleck tells about playing catch with Tom Brady was just like he's like the rest of us, put it that way. And the story was funny as hell when he tells it. Like, Brady tells him to just run and don't look back, and the ball's going to be there. And he's like, okay, I'm running as fast as I can, and Brady's got to be sitting there thinking, like, is this guy even going, or is this in slow motion? He's like, and all of a sudden I feel this presence, and it's the ball over my head, and I reach out, and it's a little too far, so I have to extend, and I caught it, and I was like, I won the Super Bowl. Tom builds you up so much. I mean, it was a great story. So the Kelces, man, their podcast. I know some fans hate when players have podcasts during the season, but I tell you what, the St. Brown podcast is not bad. I've watched that a couple times. And it's usually good, but the Kelce brothers, those guys are just a different animal, man. They're hilariously funny. They get great people on the shows that aren't even football people. And when they talk about football with these people, or stuff like what they did with Bill Murray, worth a subscribe to their channel. They're worth watching. I mean, and the thing with Taylor Swift, you could say, "Oh, marketing, blah blah blah." Dude, it's worth the watch. I mean, as a guy I'm not even a Taylor Swift fan. I don't listen to her music.
It sounds like you're starting to become one.
Well, no, I can. You know what, though? Because I can respect. I respect what she said yesterday. I can respect what she said as an uninterested person in her music career. But knowing that she's this big influential person within the music industry, you know, and I could respect what she said yesterday, man. That what did Lucas say? Luca, I think if any NFL quarterback called you up and said, "Hey, man, can you come run some routes for me?" I think all of us would be like, "You want me to what?" I think we all would be like that. And if it was Tom Brady, I think most of us would have a heart attack and die. Ben Affleck almost didn't. He's Ben freaking Affleck. No, I have a respect for her that I didn't have after this interview. Put it that way. I have a little bit more of a respect for her than I did going in, because like most football fans, I'm like, okay, what's this gimmick going to be? And you know, God, I've said it before. I'm so tired of seeing Taylor on the TV every time she goes to the game, and oh my God. But after watching the podcast yesterday, yeah, there's a new level of respect there. I can say that. She knows ball, guys. She knows ball.
I was going to say, if she just purely talked football and absolutely nothing else, I don't care about any of the music shit, what she's doing in her daily life, just the pure football shit, I could get behind it and get over it.
Yeah.
But once you start getting into the other shit, now I no longer care in any way, shape, or form.
The one thing for the non-football thing, though, which I think was, and they started with it, and that's the music catalog thing she just went through. Actually, that is worth listening to because we don't, you know, it's part of the business that, look, we all listen to music, we all watch movies, we all watch entertainment. Hearing that was actually, yeah. And to see how emotional the Kelce's got over it too was kind of like, yeah, you realize how big of a deal, how the industry, the entertainment industry is designed basically not for the entertainers, but to kind of like, you know, you chew them up and spit them out, kind of like how the NFL could be. And it's funny because like Travis would say this all the time. Like, Travis is saying she's more of an athlete than he is. And she's like, I'm not an athlete. He's like, no, the amount of workout she does. And it's like, what crazy person would walk for 4 hours to do something, a show like she does? Like, and both Kel's like, yeah, I would never be crazy enough to do that, but that's what she does nightly on tour. I mean, so they were making a lot of correlations between what she does as a performer to what they do as football, and the correlations between two. That was actually pretty interesting too, Ken. It was interesting, but yeah, Travis, like, she spends more time in the gym than NFL athletes do because of the demands of doing what she does on stage, which I found to be interesting too. So yeah, there were some eye-opening things that maybe within the music industry or that entertainment industry that maybe we don't think about. But they had a football piece, like, you know, for the NFL, you have someone who knew nothing of the game, and she was talking about coverages and different aspects of it, and the fans, and just like that was like, okay. I mean, I could see her calling games in a year if she really wanted to, and why not? If you're the NFL, my God, put her in the booth with Tom Brady. That would be interesting.
It would be interesting how fast a lot of people hit the mute button.
No, she doesn't have one of those nasally.
Or how fast Tom steals your girl.
Yeah, that's the thing there. Yeah, don't put her on with Tom Brady.
I was gonna say Tom Brady's not known for stealing your girl. Tom Brady's known for getting his girl stolen.
That happened once.
So
and it was her BJJ instructor. I mean, it's understandable, you know. I'm telling you, he was half guard smashing, dude.
If you get the time though, check out the New Heights podcast. Just in general, not just the Taylor Swift show. In general, those two guys are a friggin' riot. I watched some of the Adam Sandler one too after he made Happy Gilmore, and that was a freaking riot. They did talk about Happy Gilmore in the Taylor Swift episode as well, and that was funny. No, she was not the bear in Happy Gilmore 2. They put that rumor to bed. But yeah, I refuse to watch Chief games. I mean, look, I would refuse to watch Chief games just because I don't like the Chiefs. I get you. I mean, you know, and then for some people, you had Taylor Swift, and that just adds another thing. You're right, Luke. It can't be any worse than Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, man. Troy Aikman, God, he annoys me. I don't know which one annoys me.
The only bonus that we would get if they swapped Taylor Swift for Troy Aikman and Joe Buck would be we wouldn't be hearing any more hot mic fucking things from Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, where they're making it seem like they're a little more than co-hosts.
You know what I want to see? I want to see a broadcast team of Jason Kelce and Taylor Swift. That would be good. Because Jason Kelce, he's got the chops. If you watch the podcast, he's got the chops, right? Yeah, okay. Look, I don't care about the politics. We don't care, and we're not talking about politics. This is football, right? So I don't care about the politics in terms of footballs. So that's fine. But the two of them calling a game would be, you would be entertained not only by the football game, but it would be pure comedy gold with the way Jason Kelce is. And she, like I said, dude, she's a Kelce, and she plays it with them, and you could tell there's a comfort level there. I think the two of them calling a game with like a good third sideline reporter, right? Like someone who's seasoned, been around the game for a while. I think that would be freaking hilarious, and it'd be fun to watch. I don't know how much like game coverage you'd actually get, like X's and O's, but you would get some of that because Jason would give you some insight.
That's why I tune into a football game, is to get a little bit of football mixed with a whole bunch of Taylor Swift.
But you know what though? No, it's put this way, it would be, I think it would be better than Joe Buck and Troy Aikman the way they call the game. I mean, and Jason would give you football. Right?
I was going to say, watching two snails fuck would be more entertaining than Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.
I think, like, you know, he would be like the, you know, she would be the Joe Buck, and he would be the Troy Aikman as far as responsibilities. But I think she would do a better job than Joe Buck at like calling the actual game. I really think she would. It would be pure comedy gold with them too, with the side tangents they would get on. I mean, they'd be also talking about weird food items that would just make you laugh your ass off. I think it would be hilarious. And for the NFL, marketing gold. Let the two of them call a Chiefs-Eagles game or something like that. Oh, my freaking Lord, it'd be too funny. Because all of a sudden, mid-game, they'd break into the story about how Jason Kelce walked into a shop in Philadelphia not knowing what it was and then getting a Brazilian wax job. Yeah, that happened. It would be fucking hilarious, dude. Okay. Your face says it all. I mean, dude, it would be freaking hilarious.
I don't even know what the fuck to say.
Do it for a preseason.
No, we're not going to go down the path of Kelce and getting a Brazilian fucking wax. Just no.
Oh yeah. They were talking, dude. They should do that for a preseason game just to see. Like next year in the preseason, they should let Jason and Taylor call a preseason game for the Chiefs or something.
Okay.
Just to test bet it.
From where we were, I thought you were talking about them showing him getting a fucking Brazilian wax.
Oh, no.
Yeah, well, I don't know what the way this show's going today, so anything's on the table here.
I think they should just let them call, like, literally, like, do the game call for, like, a Chiefs preseason game. I think it would just be freaking hilarious, and if it works for the NFL,
I was gonna say that I honestly wouldn't bitch with, because you get the team networks for the preseason games and all that. Thank you, Cam.
No, I mean, like Cam, like go watch the Kelce Brothers last night, and it's not like I'm sitting there going, "Oh my God, I'm not gonna go buy your albums or listen to her music." I thought it was. It was eye-opening. It got rid of some misconceptions that maybe I had. Yeah, you don't know what's in the vape.
I was gonna say yes, but you were talking to the other Cam.
It was a newfound respect, and like, look, we've all said some of the things that, like, oh my God, why do they keep? But now I get it. I do get it. And for the NFL, Joe's right. It's marketing gold for them, and so like. why not take that next evolution? Let her and Jason call a game. I think that would be like marketing gold for the NFL. It'd be a ratings bonanza for whatever network it was on, and really, I think, yeah, it could be, it could bomb. It could completely bomb, or it could be good, really good and make them shitloads of money. I mean, the NFL is not above trying any gimmick. I mean, and she is a very smart business person. So, put her politics and everything. I don't care about all that. We're talking football and that. I mean, they didn't talk about the politics either. I really don't care about the politics. I'm retired. I can give a rat's ass about your politics. As long as my paychecks arrive on the 1st, I could give a rat's ass.
Not fuck that. We're moving them to the 15th.
Yeah, well, that's fine too. As long as I get my money every month, I don't care. So it was interesting to watch. I suggest you watch it. But the NFL would be, why not, with the way they I mean, I love politics, used to, but yeah, I can understand that too. From a football perspective, it was an interesting watch last night. It was interesting to watch, but the Kelsey brothers are just funny anyways. I love watching their podcasts because those guys are just a friggin' riot. And you know what's funny? They're so relatable to all of us. Like, they don't act like these guys are obviously have tons of money and everything else, but you wouldn't know it when you listen to them. They're just like normal people. So it was kind of funny. So yeah, we'll see what happens, but it was a lot more fun than reading the waiver wire for some fifth stringer got waived yesterday that no one even knew who he was or anything, and he's been cut. Great. Yeah, I didn't have any hopes for him at all. It was more interesting than that, at least. So it was worth the watch. It'll be interesting to see. Now we've got joint practices today, and we've got preseason games tomorrow. I know the Bears and the Bills have a practice today. Preseason game tomorrow. Bears are playing their starters. I think the Bills are playing their starters. I know we talked about it on JB's show last night on Roundtable, Ken, a little bit. I think we should be playing the starters a lot more in the preseason.
Absolutely. I get the whole injury concern thing, and for games that don't really matter, you don't want to take too much of a risk. But as we've seen the past couple of years, all you're doing is moving that risk down into the beginning weeks of the regular season. Mm-hmm. So I would much rather just get the guys ready to play for once the season starts. You're running the risk anyway. It's just, when are you having the risk?
JB had the numbers yesterday on how injuries have gone significantly up since we went to 3 preseason games and the starters don't play. And they got rid of the 2-a-days and everything else. So, in effect, when an NFLPA got rid of all these different things at practices and got rid of the way preseason and teams stopped playing starters because of the fear of injuries have actually gone up. And if the league goes 18 games and 2 preseason, I think that's a mistake. I think they should go to 18. If they really want to go to 18 regular season games, fine, but keep 4 preseason games. I think the argument that's been made, good morning, Big Hoss. Dude, you missed the whole thing about Tay-Tay. You have to go back and watch now. I think that if they got the sucking ears to join practice tomorrow. I think if they go back to that formula, if they do 18 regular season games, 4 preseason, go back to the old school formula of preseason, because, dude, you know what's sad? I don't think anyone would say that I think everyone would agree to this. The athletes today are in better shape and they're in much better shape and they're stronger than the football players of the 80s and 90s. Okay? I think there would be no argument that these guys are in much better shape overall and they're probably stronger overall. However, these guys in the 80s and 90s who showed up to camp with 2 coolers full of beer, a sleeping bag, and a pillow for camp, and when you ask them what was your off-season workout, I did 12-ounce curls every day, baby, right? They didn't work with these these training guys. All these players have their own personal trainers they work out with all off-season, whereas back in the 80s and 90s, Steve McMichael was back there pounding cases of beer in the off-season, and they would show up. out of shape. Day one was the players on the sideline puking their brains out, right? And they did four preseason games where week one they played maybe the first quarter. Week two they had a half. Week three quarters. Week four they'd play a little bit less with the roster spot. They'd play about the first half, and then the roster spot battles would happen, right? The guys trying to make the team. And the injuries were a lot less than they are now. And we didn't have such shit show football in weeks 1, 2, and 3 in the NFL. It would be better if the NFL went back to that, even if they go to an 18-game schedule, because the NFLPA's argument is actually creating more injuries on the field. And it's hurting players.
You know, Luca, I was actually just about to make that argument there for the second part of this, is that it might be that with these players training so much, even in the fucking off season, you're not giving your body enough time to rest in between, and all you're doing is compiling more damage onto damage.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. You can make that case too. That's another piece of it. I think it's both. I mean, I think it's somewhat both. You know, but why do players move this overtraining throughout the whole year? Because they're not getting it at camp anymore.
That, or because they realize that they can make money on Instagram and shit like that, doing their fucking workouts on there, so they can have another revenue stream in the off season. Because it's not like all these guys are getting big ass endorsements. Your superstars are, but that's about it.
But I mean, well, these guys are paying thousands and thousands of dollars to train with these trainers in the off season. They're not cheap. Trust me, it's expensive. They're probably spending more than they're making from endorsement deals, put it that way, for these trainers. But I'm like, you know, how is it you can get a guy like Richard Dent who shows up to camp after drinking beer all summer, not doing anything, and, you know, the 4-week camp whips their asses into shape for football, and the guy has a phenomenal career with very low injury rate to almost no injury rate. And then you get these guys now in this current system, and every year they're all dinged up. So I think it's both arguments. I think it's what you said, Ken and Luca, and I think it's kind of like this thing where the NFLPA has made practices. If you show up to camp now, you can't be football ready by the start of the season based just off camp anymore. You can't. They've almost made it where you have to do the off-season workout stuff on your own to be in any kind of physical shape for football, because they put so many restrictions on camp. They do a 3-hour practice and that's it for the day. I mean, that's the, you know, more they're if you think about it, Jim's comment, as much money as they have tied up in these players, the owners are worried about injuries in preseason games, but yet they don't mind losing them in week 1 for the entire season, which could be completely avoidable if they played more in the preseason. And the numbers show it. JB has the numbers. They show it. You heard it last night on the roundtable. If you didn't watch roundtable last night, go to Ken the Bear Fan X. It's posted there. You can watch it on JB's YouTube as well. You can there. I mean, you know, a couple places you can find it, but he has the numbers. Like, why aren't they doing? You could not show up to camp this year and make that your only reason to get ready. If you didn't, you know, and some people said that's what Caleb did. That Caleb didn't work in the offseason. There are a couple fans, you know, the shit posters that say Caleb looked like he was out of shape. What did you party all summer? If that's the case, then Caleb would be a good example of, see, he showed up to camp without doing stuff all summer. Camp's not enough. The way it is not enough. Caleb's also doing a lot of extra work at camp, so he may be ready if that was the case. But back in the day, dude, guys showed up not doing anything all summer except vacation and enjoying life, and they had less injuries, and camp got them ready for football. Camp does not get them ready for football anymore. And maybe you're right. The other piece is they're overworking it, right? These guys don't stop. They don't take a break. They don't just go drink beer for a month and sit on the beach. Maybe they need to. So I got the distinct idea, though, that Travis Kelce, though, yesterday, and the way he talked, did not do much preseason workout. He was too busy baking bread and eating it, it sounded like. Yeah, you'll have to watch for that. It was hilarious. Yeah, they baked bread. Go figure. Travis Kelce is so fucking hilarious. But maybe they need to go back to that. Like if the NFL goes 18 games, cool. But we want a 4-game preseason, and yeah. And you know what's funny is it was as early as it's not that long ago we were still doing that. Like we're talking 2018, 2019. We were still doing 4 preseason games. Like we definitely need to go back to it. That experiment is a failure, and they need to go back to 2-a-days and doing all that other stuff they're doing. And if these guys still want to work on the off season, that's a personal choice. But honestly, I think they need to kind of revert back to what was. Sometimes what we call progress isn't progress, but a regression. And I think the current system is a regression because players are getting hurt at a much higher clip now than they used to be, especially soft tissue injuries, torn ACLs, MCLs, Achilles injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. What do you have to say about that, Joe?
Must have been smoking something last year because he was terrible.
Dude, Gardner Minshew, I swear, in the offseason, he sounds like a guy who hangs out in the Cleveland or on South Beach all offseason. And just parties at South Beach the entire offseason. I could so see that. But Luka, though, you can't do that. How are you going to get rid of the preseason altogether? Because how are you going to judge talent? Because you've got 3 levels, right? You've got your practice against yourself, right? You've got your joint practice with other teams, and then you get preseason action. Each level offers you a different look. You can't replicate a preseason game of competition with a joint practice because there's still a lot of controls. In a joint practice, for instance, I can't hit J.J. McCarthy. I can in a preseason game, though. In a practice, I can't. There are still too many constraints on players in a joint practice that don't happen in a game, and you cannot replicate the atmosphere of an NFL stadium full of fans for a game in a joint practice. You can't replicate that atmosphere either. So preseason games are still a very important function within the NFL. So why would you get rid of it altogether? Oh, plus the revenue stream that was brought up yesterday from our friend there in Pittsburgh, a revenue stream. Since they used to get 2 home games in the preseason. Now you get one year, 2 the next year. It's affected the revenue stream of not just for the player, the teams, but the communities, the hotels, the restaurants, the bars, right? So that's another thing too. You help the communities out with a 4-season preseason as well, more so than you do a 3. It's better for the local economies. But these guys are getting hurt, not from even hits. They're getting hit. They're tearing ACLs running routes. Non-contact injuries. Well, we as the fans watch them play, and they obviously can't play because look at week 1. And while we all bitch about it, it's still the preseason. So someone's wrong, Luka, and I'm betting it's not the fans on this one. What do you think, Joe, Ken?
I think they should play this. If they're not going to go back to 4 preseason games, they should at least play the starters more. Like you know that it's a risk that you can injure your starters, but I agree. I definitely, even before JB brought it up, you can see that it's trending in that direction, that injuries are going up during the early part of the regular season, and it's because guys aren't ready. Like they haven't been hitting as much as they used to hit, before. Like there's a reason, even in high school ball, there's a reason why, like as soon as August rolls around and you get through Hell Week, all your practices are in pads, and you're hitting. And you're hitting, like it's to get your body ready for the pounding that you take in a football season,
And Luka, I just point to Cincinnati. Cincinnati started their ones for 2 drives in week 1 of the preseason. People are like, oh my God. And when they asked, like, why do you start Joe Burrow? Like, why did you risk it? Because the last couple of years, our offense has started slow. We want them to start fast this year.
Mm-hmm.
So is Jordan Love going to play this week, Ken, or is he not because of the hand?
Yeah, probably with that thumb, they won't have him play. At least from what I'm hearing, it sounds like he'll be out this week, and he might not even play the third game because, again, it's preseason. And
is there a risk of him not being there for week one?
No. If it was a regular season game, he'd play, but they're trying to give it as much time to heal as they can. Because he does have to change the way he hands off the ball. Because certain ones that he would hand off with the left, he now has to hand off with his right hand. So it kind of screws with the flow a little bit.
Okay, now I don't want to hear this as an excuse if the Packers don't do well. Well, Jordan Lowe is injured. No excuse. That train's leaving the building right now. Okay, just so that we're in agreement.
Fuck yeah.
Just want to make sure we're in agreement.
I don't care if he got attacked by a fucking gator and got his arm chewed off. That's not an excuse. You still got another one.
Yeah, you know what? Ken just remind me of the Arlie Emery commercial. You know what makes me sad? You jackwagon. That he just remind me. He throws the tissue box at him. Tissue? Yeah. I mean, we're only a few weeks away from week one. We got week 2 preseason kicking here this week. We got games tonight, right? Are there games tonight? I believe so. Today, tomorrow, the whole weekend. The Bears are on at 8 o'clock or 7:30 p.m. I think is when coverage starts on Friday night on Fox 32 Chicago, and I believe the local Fox station in Buffalo will have it. I think NFL Network has it Sunday night. If you watch House Hall Report, you better watch the game before Sunday because we'll be talking about the game Sunday morning on House Hall because, well, we have IPTV and we can watch it from Chicago or Buffalo if we so desire. If you're looking for a way to watch games and don't have a way to watch games, contact Woody the Bear fan. Woody the Bear fan. Get a hold of him. Get a hold of Woody, and he can hook you up on a good IPTV program that I've been using now for my 3rd football season. I don't miss a game. I don't miss a preseason game. I don't have to worry about when the NFL Network is going to have it. I can watch on my local channel from Chicago if I want, even though I live in Florida, and it's completely legal to do so. So, a lot of preseason football games. I had to put that little pitch in there for Woody because, look, the Bears are Friday night on local stations. NFL Network, I think, is going to have it Sunday night at 8 or 9 p.m., something like that, late. Say, but like if you want to watch the Packers game or the Raiders game, dude, you can do that on IPTV easily. I can watch Joe's local news channel where he lives if I want right now. It's stupid crazy. So IPTV is definitely a good way to go for that if you're a football fan and want to watch football and your team doesn't live in your market. So I bring that up there to save you a couple $100 from paying for NFL season ticket. What's NFL season ticket now? $400 or $500 a season? I don't even spend that much.
Or something.
I spend $480 for TV for my entire year because I pay $40 a month. So, and I get every NFL game, NHL game, Major League Baseball game, MLS game, Bundesliga, La Liga, Premier. I can get professional rugby. I get all of it. All the pay-per-views, UFC, everything.
Well, the UFC just ended their pay-per-view model.
Yeah, they did. But I get everything. WWE, AEW, all of it. So yeah, I mean, we got some games this weekend. But if you got like an hour and 46 minutes or so to kill, go watch the Kelsey brothers last night. It was entertaining to say the least.
Hey, Ken, I got a question. Did the Kelseys pay you to endorse this podcast for 40 minutes?
Look at, like, I've always been the kind of person, if something's worth watching or enjoyable, I don't mind pimping it out. And look at their show. I watch their show now and then anyways, and they're always entertaining. And last night was no different. It was a fun show to watch. I mean, I was, like a lot of other people, like, okay, well, it's going to be Taylor Swift's going to be the special guest. Yeah, okay, fine. Well, okay, this might be interesting, and maybe it'll be a train wreck. And at the end of the day, it was just a good show. I mean, their show, of the players that do podcasts, their show is the most entertaining. And with that, though, we're out of time, so we hope we entertained you for today. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning, Ken in the morning. Thank you, everyone, for watching it. And wait, I'll let Cam get the last take. Thank you, Cam. We'll see you all tomorrow morning. Have a great day.